All right, welcome everybody to our Tuesday call. Um, Tonight, I'll be sharing our meeting. Kelly is here in the background, but she's an apology for tonight. For those that don't know me, my name is Mitz. I'm one of the MSR admin team, and Emma will also be supporting me throughout our meeting tonight. As you know, this is a group call, so anything you have on your mind, just shout out, let us know your thoughts. We've got a couple of topics we're going to talk through tonight. Main focus really is food. I think we're all watching the news and seeing it on the pump. However, prepared, not scared is really the motto, what we want to do and how we want to look at it and how we support each other and what can we do now before we're going into winter, because obviously depending on where we are, our growing seasons are shorter, but wouldn't it be great if we not have to rely on everything that's coming out of the supermarket? So that's the big topic tonight. But before we go into further discussion, I would like to invite Karina to do our thought of the day today.
Okay. So a couple of rhetorical questions. Is food security on your mind right now? If supply chains were disrupted for a few weeks or months, how comfortable would your household be? So right now, the world is reminding us how fragile our food system really is, but we are blessed to have this window of opportunity to become producers, not just consumers, to become more self-sufficient while we still have the freedom, the resources, and the time to act. So we can't control the global fuel shortages, but we can control how prepared, skilled, and connected we are. And that shift can start small, it can start right here, and it can start now. So now is the time to act, but with wisdom and prudence, not panic. We've got three areas that to consider. We've got the reality of the situation, we've got our opportunity, and we've got our collective strength. So the reality is that farmers need fuel to grow and harvest, truckies need fuel to move food, supermarkets need fuel dependent supply chains, and fuel is already being rationed for farmers. This is the invisible backbone of our food system, fuel. But it's about wisdom, not fear, and we still have opportunity to act. So what can we do? What are the next steps that we can take right now to prepare and protect ourselves and our families? So those things that we can do are building skills, growing food, strengthening our households before shortages become normal. So we start with what we know, what we have. We can start small. If we're planting a garden, we can just start with 3 or 4 plants and become successful and confident in those. We can build an ingredients household as opposed to products. We can learn no waste skills. We can grow, access, and store raw, versatile, and nutrient dense foods through our garden, through fermentation, and through just all the practices that we have. And finally, the collective strength, community, it's the multiplier. And I love MSR's focus on community. No one person can do, have, or know everything, but a community can do, know, and have everything that we need. For example, some people can keep chooks, some can grow food, hopefully most people, some can preserve, some can butcher, some can teach, and some can organize, and some can share land, tools, or knowledge. So when we combine our skills, we become resilient in a way that no supermarket could ever enable. And that's my thought.
And that is also the end of the meeting because Karina just summed up everything we want to discuss. Now we're going to it a bit further, but that was amazing, Karina. Thank you so much. And very true. Like, when you look at your own home first, look at what space do you have available, and start also with what do I already have? Yeah. And so I think I thought we're doing the herbs, but I think, Karina, this was such an amazing opening. I think we're going to go straight and continue with the food side of it. So I want to touch a little bit on base what you said, what do we have at home? Have a look around, do a bit of a stock take, and see the things that you're using on a regular basis. Where could you buy a little bit extra without blowing the budget, right? Have a look where you can stock up now, because we will all feel it when we go to the checkout, and stock up a little bit on those items, and make sure you rotate. Right? Rotate what you've got at home. Don't forget, get a little sweet treat in between as well, because when you're feeling unsettled, maybe, grab your favorite food, have a little bit of that on hand as well. And the next step, obviously, with what Karina's outlined is, what if the food isn't getting to our local stores? Because it starts at the farmers, then the distribution, and then we'll see it at our end um, at the checkout and in the supermarkets. We've seen it before. Um, Big thing, thanks for that, is community. If you have people around before, have a look what you've got and what they've got, and get together and talk about, okay, I can grow X and X. You've got the space for the chickens. Maybe we can work something out amongst us and work together on it, because we've got a garden, and it can be, for all those that have a garden, it can be pretty full on when you're starting from scratch. And, it is time consuming. But if you do it as a group and you do rotation, even say, once a week we meet at this place, and then we do it in your garden next time, and just work on problems that you find and solutions together, does make a big difference as well. So you're not feeling alone. And, gardening, whether on a big or small scale, is actually really good. It's enjoyable. You can get your grounding in, whether you walk around barefoot in your garden, or even not necessarily wearing gloves. See the joy in it. Don't make it a chore, or don't make it anything where you're like, I've got to do this now, right? And don't put that sense of urgency. Make it enjoyable. Yeah, I think that's a big takeaway with that as well. So, options for growing. We all can grow things, whether it be little things in your house, and you have them, on your windowsill, or you have your herbs in the kitchen, or you'll look at, okay, I'm living in a unit or in a townhouse. I don't have, the space. There is space. Instead of hanging, ornamental plants, you can grow your strawberries in hanging baskets. Same with tomatoes. I've seen tomatoes growing upside down, and they're doing really well. Obviously, we need to look at the time of the year. So we're coming into the winter season. So the growing season is becoming shorter. But there's still plenty of foods that you can grow now, so that you can eat healthy, fresh food out of the garden. Yeah. Look at the space available, and think about options. So, raised garden beds, you can buy them. They can fit on the balconies or your pots. And I've seen a lot of people start these trellis walls where you can just hang little pots on there. So there's so many options out there. It's amazing. Yeah. And then actually the next step is, when you have your garden and you have the bigger space, before you run off and buy all the garden beds, think about how you're going to lay out your garden. Here's a couple of handy tips that I've noticed. Make sure you get through with your whippersnippers. Make sure you can get through with your mower, because there's nothing more in knowing when you put the garden beds together and then you realize you can't maintain them in between, right? You look at this and go like, oh, what have I done? Because you're not going to dig that up again and start new. So lay out a plan a little bit and have a look, where is your sun. The same goes for your balcony. So some crop that have more shade tolerant, lay it out a little bit, see how the sun moves in the garden or around the balcony, or even in your house in the window sills. And then you can get actually quite a lot more season out of it than what you think, by just paying attention to where the sun is, and what crops work well in those sections. So lay out your space, and then think about how you're going to keep your soil healthy, because healthy soil will give you good production, as well as will make it a lot less pest pest problems that come with it. And I highly recommend of doing, whether on the balcony or in the garden, do companion planting, right? It's really one of the best protection from pests. And on top of it, you're not using chemicals. So have a look at companion planting, what you can fit in. So a lot of the herbs are considered companion plants. So your lavender, basil. Sorry, Alana?
I was just wondering, what I don't know what companion plants are, but you're going into that right now.
Yeah. So what it is, you have your main crop. So what I've got at the moment, so for example, I have cabbages that gone in and cabbage moths, they'll eat through them in a night, right? For example, and you really gotta stay on top of that. So what we've done with that is with the brassicas, so the broccoli and the cabbages, what we have put around is basil. We've got onion, we've got leek, anything that's smelly, really. Marigolds are really good. So I have started with every time one of my flowers ready or the seeds are ready, I'm just chucking them everywhere. I have marigolds everywhere. I've got marigolds coming out of my ears now, but they're perfect. Brings good good insects in, they keep the bugs away and things like that. So that's what I mean by companion planting. You can easily just Google that. And the great thing is that most companion plants, so dill, next to my beans at the moment, I have planted dill. I really would love to get some of that into my house, but the aphids go bonkers with it. So I never really get to the harvesting point. But the good thing is the aphids are on the one plant I put there as a my pest control, so I don't have it on my beans, right? Um, this is something really easily that you can establish at home on the balcony, small spaces or large spaces. So that
Can
is something
I
I highly
can I
recommend just from experience. Karina?
mention something? Yeah, just with companion planning, I've researched this in the past as well, and I was doing some research today using AI. I'm finding it really helpful to help with a plant, with a garden that I'm trying to set up for myself. But companion planning it's about pest control, but it's also about other things such as like what it does to the soil. Like it might help, fix nitrogen in the soil, or so then that supports the plants that are around it. So it's and some plants might provide shade or cover or moisture control. So it which then supports another plant. So it's just really the way that plants support each other, and the best ones that work together compared to the ones that kind of work against each other.
Yeah.
And AI is really good. Actually, I'm using Copilot because I have a Microsoft plan, so I just use Copilot, and I'm getting a lot of good information out, and it's just meaning I'm not having to go and search all the individual websites myself. And then what it does is send me give it, if I ask for it, it will give me links direct to those websites, and then I can go and find out for myself and validate everything. So yeah, so it's been really good. I've got a plan now. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
have
what
you,
kind of prompts do you put into AI? Sorry.
That's okay. I'm just looking through. Let me look through.
Alana, I think it really depends on what it is the space and what you have and what you need. So, one thing, very simple for companion planting is really just put in there broccoli companion plants, right? And then we'll show actually all the companion plants that
Mm.
are really good for it. Usually, when there are links, it will also tell you what Karina was just saying, how do they benefit, right? So, because there are certain plans where they say don't plant them together, right? So it's
Mhm.
it's good to look at both, because of if both plants, for example, are heavy feeders from the nutritional point of view in your soil, they start to compete. And this is what Karina was saying. You could Google or AI it and say, okay, what what companion plant assist the plant or help with growth or taste or anything like that. And I'm sure it will spit out tons of information. Yeah. So the
Oh,
beans is a
thank you.
really good one, Karina, what you were saying for the nitrogen. So I rotate the beans through because they actually put a lot of good stuff back into the soil,
Yeah.
which is really amazing, right? Um, but even before you start that, the main thing is think about your layout and how you're, build up your garden bed to begin with. We've got some really good videos and previous talks that we've done on that topic, where you layer it. So I would look at that first, how to layer it. So it reduces costs. So, for example, where you're starting with the logs and sticks and all that in the bottom, because it brings nutrition in. So next time you go out for a walk and you're in a area, right? Take some sticks and take some handful of leaves that you actually find in the forest, because believe it or not, any nature preserve, even just a handful of something taken from there, or seaweed. If you're close by the ocean, you go for a morning walk, right? And you've got sticks on the beach and seaweed, grab it. And that is what you want to start with, because the microorganism that you're introducing, and don't be afraid to grab a piece of wood that is already rotten. It's got so much good stuff in it from a nutrition point to be in the bottom. And then you can start layering, with whatever other materials before you put the soil, because we want to be cost conscious as well. If you fill your whole garden bed with soil you buy at the nursery, it's going to cost you a fortune, right? But if you look at these concepts, you can actually find the stuff out there, and then you don't need to spend a huge amount on the soil. The other thing, obviously, with that, if you have the opportunity to do composting, little bit difficult, maybe more when you're in a unit, but look how you can create compost. Worm farms are really good for that. Yeah, the worms give you amazing worm juice, and um, when you open up your tray, the soil is so rich and really black and just looks amazing, which is really good to mix through and do your seedlings in and things like that. It's really great. So again, quick recap, have a look what space is available, have a look on your sun position, how it moves around your property, your house, your unit, your windows. Think about the layout before you start. Make sure that it's easily maintained. If you're making it hard on yourself, right? So if you put a trellis up, my beans are up to the gutter at the moment. I'm short. I can't reach them. They got completely out of control. But luckily, I've got two very tall people, right? But think about, is it easy to maintain? Is it easy to reach? When you make it complicated, you look at it and go too hard, you might not want to go back to it. Everything's got to flow. And then look at companion planting and look at what it is you eat and what you like. There's no point planting things that you go like, oh, I'm going to put that in as an exercise, and then it takes over your garden bed, and you go like, oh, I really don't like that. Have a look at what you eat, what you would like to eat, and that is still can be grown throughout this winter season. The other thing, and this is up to you guys, another thing that I would recommend is we just redone the garden beds, and I've started from seedlings. That takes quite a long time, or from seeds. I actually went out and bought seedlings to cut my growing season, or my wait time for harvest time, to cut this down. The reason why I'm saying that is usually I don't do that. I grow and raise my own seedlings because then I know where the seeds are coming from. But we're quite late, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. It didn't really feel like we had much of a summer this year, you know. Then I'd say go and get seedlings, or plants, little plants, get them in now. It will shorten the times so that you can start your harvest. And in the meantime, it doesn't mean you can't still raise seedlings. So I'm doing both, right? Just in case that the crop that I have put in fails, like the lovely cabbage moths, if they won't go, I'm going back to the seedlings. right? Cross fingers. The other thing I would say with that as well, and again, that's from experience, how quickly, pests can go through. We shouldn't be calling them pests, but nature loves the garden. Um, in the morning or when you're walking by, there are certain times you can check on it. So we've been out before, we saw a cabbage moth flying around straight away. I'm checking on my cabbages to see if there's any eggs on there, and I just wipe them off. Like the earlier you can catch that, usually just around about this time or a little earlier, I go and see if I have any snails around it to make sure the snails are not taking over again because they love our garden and just little things like that. But make it part of a routine, make it fun, enjoy your time and keep an eye on that. The
It's
other thing
sorry, just quickly.
yeah,
Erica has a question or a comment.
yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know if any of you are in Queensland, but or in Brisbane, sorry, the Brisbane City Council offers a voucher for composting. So you
Oh,
can actually go onto the Brisbane City Council website, and maybe in your council you might have that as well. So I was able to get some refund when I did my worm farm.
that's
So yeah,
amazing.
yeah, just check it. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. I think it's like at the time when I did was around COVID, and it was about $75 that I got back. So you just have to answer some questions, and yeah, so check with the council. They might have something like that, but the Brisbane City Council does, or at least they did.
Yeah, really good info, Erica. Appreciate that. So, the other thing I just, now that you mentioned council, the other thing, if you actually feel like, look, this is overwhelming for me and I'm not sure, I can do that, join a community garden. Almost every area has a community garden where, when I first did it, when we were here in Sydney, you would come down, you help with the working bee before you get a little plot within the community garden allotted. Now, one thing I found when I joined it back then, there were a lot of elderly Asians, and their knowledge about gardening is amazing. I've got to say it. Yeah. Um, every majority of the people that had massive amount of crops growing where these guys, and they were so helpful and open, and even if you're joining a community garden just to learn from the others, it's definitely worth it. I've learned a lot from that year and a half I was at a community garden before we moved, and it's good, it feels good as well, and you never know, you might be able to create that swap system with them. You know, if they see that you have something that you've grown a lot of and they have too much of whatever it is. And that's something that happened when we did the working bee, that everyone would just put part of what they had on crops on the table, and then everyone could just pick and choose what they wanted to, and it became an automated swap. So there is probably people as well where you can then work together, learn together, and swap. Because that is then the next thing where have a look at your neighbors and your friends and family, how if you, like Corinne was saying, if I'm better having this or that growing in my garden just because maybe of where the sun is, but they're good with this or that, communicate about it and see that you start the swapping. And if you have a successful crop, I also highly recommend to let whatever it is you're growing, let at least one or two plants go to flower so that you can collect seeds. Because the benefit from that is, one is it saves on costs that you not have to go and buy seeds. The seeds are acclimatized to your garden because that plant has already gotten to know your climate and your garden and your soil. It makes it much easier for the next crop. You're not going to have any funny stuff in it because it comes out of your garden unless you put funny stuff in it. But, it's coming out of your garden, and it will also help if other people are out of certain seeds that you can do seed swapping. Um, if you can get a carrot to grow and let that one just go to seed, I highly recommend it. The amount of seeds you can get out of them is amazing. But, and here's the funny thing, a carrot can take up to 2 years to flower. So if you can pick any of your crops that you really like of the food that you really like, and want to dedicate at least one of them to go to flour, it saves a lot of money, and yeah, it's definitely worth it. So the other thing with it is what I wanted just to quickly touch on is watering. Think about how you're going to water your garden, what you're planting, and what backup solution you might have if there's difficulties with water in the area that you are. That one, I won't go too much into it. I'm just putting it out there for food for thought, because I think that's also something to consider, that if you're having the plants there, they obviously need water and food. All right. With the composting, I just had another idea with that. If you don't want to have the compost bins, in your garden beds, what you can do, you can actually get in small, so for raised garden beds. So again, if you're in a smaller area, there is, for example, the in-ground composting tubes that you can put in. So that way, if you're saying, oh, I'm in a unit or townhouse, I don't want that, to get smelly, maybe having problems with the neighbors, get the little tubs so you can actually put right in, chuck everything in there, and then the nutrition can just seep out of that right into the garden beds. Just ideal. Right, so first, any questions or any additional ideas that you want to throw to the room for discussion, Karina?
Yeah, I just purchased one of those built-in composts. I was looking for like a terracotta pot. I didn't want plastic, but it was becoming a little difficult. So I got it's a plastic one, I'm pretty sure, and it has holes all through it. So then you put in your scraps, and then you can put some dry stuff, like grass clippings, or I don't know, you've got your greens and your browns. So you can just layer it up, and then the worms come in from your garden and break it down and do all their stuff. And then you've got all the worm castings, or just naturally in the soil. It helps to multiply the worms. And then once it all gets full, then you can empty it out and use the soil that's been created. So I bought one. I'm going to test that one out and see how that goes, and then and if I like it, then I'll get a couple more for other garden beds as well.
Yeah, I had thought about this, but we do have a dog, and it's been hard enough just to keep her out of the bed and not bury her bones everywhere. So
well,
I did.
It's got a lid, so this thing's got a lid. So
can I ask a question on the worms, Karina?
Yes.
You might know. All I have is a bucket for the worm, let's call it farm, and compost, and I'm just chucking in the food scraps. But then I noticed the other day, and it must have rained a lot, and now it's quite wet. So today I then added some more sawdust from the chicken coop and turned it a little bit. But now I'm thinking, okay, from what you just said, I just want to just clarify. It's wet and soggy, and when do I start getting soil out of it? And how do I separate the worms from the soil? Or do the worms come with the soil when I want to use them in my garden bed?
Go Emma,
Emma
go Emma. I think Emma has an answer to that.
I don't, not me, the one next to me.
You
Andrew.
don't just
Go Andrew.
you don't turn the don't turn the worms. They don't like being disturbed.
Oh,
You just
right.
leave
So
it.
if it's all wet and soggy at the bottom, do they like that?
No, what you do dry, and then your wet like veggies. Then you dry, wet. You sandwich it like that all the time. And you need to have drain. It needs to be able, the water needs to drain out.
Yeah, you need tiny holes, otherwise they'll drown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got like a
Is the
triple
holes-
layer triple layer worm farm, and there's a bucket next to the spout on the bottom layer.
And it's a
So
drop.
at the top, I'll peel back like moist paper just to see how they're going with food. During summer, those things eat like there's no tomorrow. Often have to do peeling just to keep. They love watermelon rind,
Is
but the
that
soil is lovely
does
and
that
rich.
end up being the wee, like all the
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
everything that's in the bucket, and that then becomes more of a fertilizer as well? Do you use that
yeah.
like
So we add it to the water,
Yep.
and then we got like a huge bin, well, container, yeah, bin. Add that to the water, and then that's what we use to water the garden.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you
'Cause I think
dilute the
Worm
tea,
tea.
worm tea, not
worm
pea,
tea.
worm
That's
tea.
right.
And then, but as they break down, they will have the worm castings, right? Which makes a really the worm poo. So you got the worm pee and the worm poo, right? Basically. And that actually composts. So I've never done it in a single bucket. I've always done it in a couple layers, Kelly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
much easier.
yeah.
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 So I don't know how. I'd have to look that up how you're doing it in a single bucket, and there might obviously be ways that I don't know. I've had the triple ones, and then I made one which was the same thing that had the three. It had a couple layers, because then you can get the castings basically go down. So all the okay, the worm poo and the composty kind of stuff drops down, and then you add another layer, and the worms will move up, and then they'll eat into that dry layer and into that produce layer. And then if that fills up, you want another layer. So you want to kind of you discard the bottom layers of the thick beautiful castings, and that's like really rich compost. And the excess water you use, and you dilute that. Don't ever put that on your garden straight. It's really, really strong. And you dilute that and you water your garden with that.
Can I ask, is that a mesh that comes in like some sort of a mesh so it all falls through? Is it like a wire or a mesh?
So I made one with a wire, and then I tried to do, when I made it myself, I tried to put I put fly screen in, and the fly screen is actually too tight of a weave for the castings. When you buy I've got a couple of the 3-tier ones as well that I've picked up, because people use them. To be honest, people use them and then they discard them because it becomes too difficult. So you can find them on Marketplace all over the place. It actually just has quite so probably 3 or 4 centimeter 3 or 4 millimeter to half 5 millimeter holes, and everything drops through that. And then they basically eat everything on that layer. And then if you put the next food and like your green and your brown on, the worms will actually come up into that. And they'll keep moving up the ladder, I guess, or up the layers. They want to be in the penthouse.
Yes. So when you set it up at the bottom, yeah, so one thing really important with the worms is the water has to come out. I've drowned my worms before, unfortunately, because the water couldn't go anywhere. So you have to have a drainage in that. So the one I have, I think most of our has is this 3-layer, and then you just have to tap at the front. I actually have the tap open at all times, just in case, because I was actually shocked how many are drowned. And then you have your first, box in it, which is like your starter box, that it has to be close enough that they can go into your next. And the second layer is where you put your composting and your papers and all that kind of stuff in. And then that's where they go up and they eat. And then that fills up with their casting until you can go literally to the next. So that's the simplest explanation for that. But yeah, don't drown them. So Kelly, make sure you've got, holes in it. Just, I think just a bucket. I haven't tried that. I don't know how that would work.
And you want to catch that water that gets released.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you don't want to just have a hole to the ground, because that water,
No.
that juice, that worm juice is precious.
Really good. Yeah, so I have a watering can under it. So then I just top it up with water and off I go, and I put it straight in the garden, the tea, worm tea.
Thank you for that, ladies. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We even
Appreciate.
had the one of our community members, I put it in there, was water ups, which are like I put it on, she sent me photos of what she's got growing because she's only got a small area. Um and that's actually really good too if you've only got a unit and you actually can pop in the water and it sits into a little cylinder and it just waters the plants as it needs it. So, and I did put that up on our hub. I will share it on the main MSR Oz. I will put those pictures up and send it through because I think just knowing these little things when you've got a small
Yeah.
space are really good because you can grow an abundance of something, you know?
And Simone, is that with the two terracotta pots glued together and then you fill them up with water and the
It,
water
it was
leaches up?
actually it was actually a square. It was actually just a square like plastic. I mean, I much prefer terracotta, obviously, but it's I'll put it up. It was a square container and it just had this big long thing in the middle of it where you pop the water in. So all the soil sits in and it fits up to the sun, obviously, but there was nothing on top of it.
So I've made quite a few. If you're talking about just for keeping the root systems of your plants watered or ease of watering and not overwatering, is that what we're talking
Yes,
about? You
yes.
can make them with a couple of terracotta pots.
Okay.
So the pots you seal the if they've got a hole in the bottom, right?
Yep.
Like a terracotta pot, and you can make it however you want, and you glue or seal the bottom hole, like I've put a coin in the bottom and glued it on, or a piece of whatever I've got left and
Smart.
sealed that, and then put the terracotta pots top to bottom so that it kind of looks like that, and it's glued here, and then it's the other terracotta pot, and then you fill it up through the hole which is the bottom of the upside down pot, and then it leaks out. The water slowly goes out and keeps the bed wet. And I find in winter that helps a lot because sometimes we overwater in winter.
Yeah.
And we just need to be careful. Like you just need to be mindful of how much rain you're having, how much is evaporating, because it's not evaporating as fast as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just seeing Emma's comment there. I'd like to see a video of that too as well, Candace. That's a great. I think that's, and I much prefer to be using the terracotta because I mean it does hold it. The Amish use the terracotta for fridges, um, with one terracotta pot sitting in another, and you can put sand inside, and then you put the water. You just got to keep watering it throughout the day to keep everything cold. Obviously, another little terracotta saucer goes on top to keep everything cool, but very similar. Very
Mm.
similar. I'm assuming
So
that's how it holds the
Yeah,
water.
we can do that as another
Yeah.
how to make
project. Yes.
project. Yeah.
One note on that, guys, with the terracotta. Corinne, if you're starting your garden bed, it might be worth putting some of those in, right? Summertime, it does make a big difference. One thing I've got to say, you have to make sure that you check where, if you get the terracotta pots, where they come from and that they're not sealed.
Yes.
Some terracotta pots have a sealant on them. I believe the ones that come from Italy, and then there was another one, definitely never have them on there because it's an old method that started actually centuries ago. But yeah, you've got to double check that they're not sealed because otherwise the water can't seep through the actually pots. Also, one thing on the terracotta pots, because we all prefer natural materials. So, Karina, with the in-ground ones, I have not seen any natural, like non-plastic compost ones. So that'd be interesting to see if we could find any of those because none of us are fans of plastic, right? So I've started growing certain things in pots just so I can move them around. And then terracotta pots in summer, I water the outside of the pot to get water sucked into that because one thing I found is it's crazy how quickly they dry out. And they really suck the moisture out of your pot, like the plants in the soil. So if you're planting your crop in terracotta, for example, on the balconies, definitely have a saucer under it so that the water can go into your saucer and then absorb back in. And what I do with those, actually with all the all the plants that I have it, I put a layer of rocks in the bottom of any pots, because that way, whether they're on a saucer or not, the water can run out. But it also helps preventing that the soil plugs the holes. If they're sitting on the ground, you might not notice that they're, created complete blocks, and you keep watering and then they die because the runoff isn't happening. So I put a small layer of rocks just around the holes in the bottom, just to prevent that, so there is free flow. Because I think I've had that whole heavy-handed watering issue, and then you just end up with root rot and everything just dies. And you look at it and go like, I don't have a green thumb, mind you all. You look at it and go, it's like, why is it dying? It needs more water. And then you give it more water, and it's like, yeah, okay, I killed it. So that is a good trick if you don't have a green thumb like me and have no clue about the watering. Rocks in the bottom. This just can run out. Amazing. So tell us, who's growing what at the moment? So I was saying I had put in some brassicas, some cabbages, and I put in some broccoli, because those are the things that we love and eat a lot. So
Ask a question. Is anybody growing any potatoes in grow bags? I know that Robin actually bought, yes, I'm very, very keen for this idea. Does anybody want to elaborate on this? That'd be amazing.
yeah,
Can I
I
speak?
can't see who's talking actually. Oh, Cheryl, you go. Yes.
Yeah. I'm actually I've got some seeding potatoes, and I'm about to actually put, not so much grow bags, but I've got I hate to say it, a plastic container that I'm going to actually do that. So I just went and brought some lucerne hay, and I've already got potting mix. I think I've just got to maybe put some holes in the bottom of the container. I think that's what I need to do first. But I'm going to give it a go. So what you need to do is you put your layer of hay or lucerne down first, and then you put your seeding potatoes in with the eyes up, and then you cover that with dirt. So I think you only just cover it with dirt, and then you put another layer of lucerne hay on it, and then you wait until you see the shoot come through, and then once you see that shoot come through, you put another layer of dirt to cover the shoot, like that, Michaela, and the layer, and then you put the straw, and then you do that until you've reached your the top, and then it's a long list. I think it's about 8 months or something, and you wait. Now sometimes the leaf will start growing some little potato berries. You actually cut those off, so the energy goes back down into the potatoes. The energy for growing goes back down the potatoes, and then you wait until all the leaves are dead before you actually cultivate.
Yeah. So what I've just shown, thank you very much for that, Cheryl. So what you see, I've got one here. This is one of our seed potatoes. With this, you can actually get a bargain, 2 for 1, right? So if you see how I have 2 on there, you could potentially cut that in half. The important thing with that then is that you let it dry the cut for a day, at least 24 hours, because if you pop it in straight away, there is a possibility that it will just simply rot, right? So that's not a good idea. So just cut that in half if you don't have that many. Otherwise, you could just pop this little fella in as it is with the shoots up, like Cheryl was saying. Now it's best with the what Cheryl was explaining. It's called hilling the potatoes. So don't bury them too deep. This would need to be just literally covered on top like that. And then as you see the plants growing, top it up, right? So you can top them up as you go. That's the method that we're using in the grow bags. And you keep topping it up, and then your plants will literally start to wilt, and that will tell you when they're ready for harvest. Now, one suggestions I would make for that, if you wish to continue to grow potatoes, keep your soil separate from your other soil in the garden. That's something Dave, my hubby, had said. You you are more likely to introduce fungi that will damage other plants if you cross mix soil that you used for your potatoes. So you should not be using soil that has had potatoes in, for example, with tomatoes. It's not good. So we've got one pile where all our potato soil goes. So we made a little mesh thing, sieve, we'll just dump it all out, pick them all out, let the soil fall through, and then we've got a pile where we only keep our potato soil. There's lots of different methods you can do. Again, amazing. I say, Karina, follow your lead. Maybe AI the question and see what you come up. So many different ways. Just hay bales, people been putting in like it's crazy in milk crates, and they're literally just, stacking the milk crates on top of it. Apparently works. Haven't tried that one. So there's tons. And you know what? This is easy growing from what you've got at home. So this one was next to the apples and it went bonkers. That can go straight in. It's actually not really hard. It's easy to maintain. They don't usually get a lot of pests or diseases or anything like that. And who doesn't like mashed potato, right?
Can I
Mids, I'll
ask?
just let you know, I've done it with the milk crates, and I've done it with a long, like a taller laundry basket, like a plastic. It was a plastic laundry basket that has like a woven, like woven holes, and did the layering of that. And the potato plants grow out, like the greens grow out the sides all the way up as you do it.
So
Yeah.
when harvesting, how long do those shoots, how long do they go? How do you know
When the green dies back, when it's dead, like it
Yep.
basically it dies, and then you tip it upside down and tip the whole thing out, and you get potatoes.
Yeah. So the top dies off. Like I said, it's a great plant. It tells you actually when it's ready. I love that. Yeah. Karina, I just wanted to come back to you for a minute. You asked about the garlic. Get it in now. Definitely now is the time. It's really good time for garlic. We just done all of ours. Sorry, yeah, Karina, I know you got to go, but I just wanted to tell you, now is the time. Have you done garlic before?
No.
Okay.
I've
I'll
got
be
6
2 seconds.
vegetables that
Keep talking.
and
I get it.
I've got 6 vegetables and garlic's one of them. So I've got 3
Yeah.
per bed at the moment.
Yeah,
but
so get your garlic in now, and it'll be
34.
ready to harvest it. But just be mindful that your whatever you put the garlic in, it's not going to be ready to harvest until, depending where you live, around around November, December, right? It's fairly long. So you'll miss your spring planting in those particular beds.
Okay.
So just be,
All right.
it's a long grow.
Okay.
I couldn't find it then. I thought I still had one. I think we put them in. Karina, if you can get some garlic from like organic garlic from the
I
shop,
did.
check
Yeah.
the ones that's starting green shoots already.
So what I got was from one of there was 3 organic or like non-GMO, non-treated, all of that seed places recommended by the Rustic Spirits Homestead on the Rustic Spirits Homestead video. And so I kept those resources, and I bought some garlic from one of those.
And
So it's clean, but I'm not choosing it. It's being sent to me.
Yeah. So if you want to, you can actually grow from these. So we buy organic garlic, and we choose the ones where they're starting to get the green shoots at the top already, and all you do is literally just separate it and pop it in, and that's it, right? But now is a really good time. So if
you have to let it kind of partly be out of the soil, or
no, we've gone. So if this is
Just the pointy bit up.
Yeah, so pointy bit up, like this is, don't know if you can see that. So this is the bottom, pointy bit up, and we go about that deep. Candice, how deep do you go? Like
about the same. Yeah.
About
so
a
I
finger.
do the width of the bulb as a height
Huh.
buried in a sense.
So how do you know when it's grown, when it's done?
Same thing. It's almost the same. It'll die back. So it depends if you've got a hard net garlic and then you get the garlic scapes out of that, or if you've got a soft net garlic, it doesn't have that, that like does everyone know what a garlic scape is? Like the bit like a flower that would come
The
out of it.
shoot.
The shoot that comes out of it, yeah. So it
I got a
depends, but
purple
basically
garlic.
it starts to brown, and it basically is the same thing. It'll fall over and it'll start to brown, and then and it's, well, for me it's almost December sometimes, but most places it could be like sort of October, November, depending on where you live.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a long grow season though.
Yep.
But
And
worth
they're quick
it.
growing things as well. Pardon?
It's worth it. That tastes so good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Amazing. Karina, any other question or thoughts you want to throw out before you head off?
Not at this stage, but what I do is post where I got the seeds from, or where Rustic Spirits Homesteads recommended the seeds, where I got some things from. So, and then I'll go.
Appreciate
Sorry,
it. Thank you.
was that Rustic Spirits Homestead? Are they on YouTube?
Yes, they are, and I'm pretty sure some of their videos have been posted on Telegram. That's how I found them.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Karina. Sleep well. All right. So coming back to the room then, who would like to let us know? So Candice, you sound like your garden is amazing. What else you've got out there?
Well, I haven't. Yeah, I'm a bit late because we're already getting quite cold already. And we're getting down to like 8 degrees, 7 degrees
wow.
at night. Yeah, so it's like okay. So I do a lot of our leafy vegetables like our silver beets and rainbow chard, spinach, kale, all of those because they're fairly quick turnarounds. I do a lot of beets. I and the Blue Mountains love beets, so you can grow so many beets. But also I didn't last year because the year before I planted heaps of brassicas, and the cabbage moss just decimated absolutely everything. So for the space it takes up, because I'm renting, so I've got 5 1 meter by 2 meter raised beds. No, sorry, 6. And then I've got 7 or 8 kind of 1 meter by 1 meter. And then I've got grow bags. Everything else is in grow bags. So I can only plant 1 broccoli or 1 cauliflower. So for me, what I look at is the space I have and what I can get out of that value from, like I'd be better off to buy 1 broccoli than have that 1 meter by 1 meter space held up for 1 broccoli plant. So I kind of look at it that way. So I do a lot more of our all of our greens, all of our herbs. I will do some. I plant a lot of kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is it's delicious. It's wonderful to ferment. So kohlrabi is another thing. Yeah, those are sort of my main focuses, especially through winter, because we get snow here. We get below 0, so we have to be mindful of that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm in the Blue Mountains, in the upper Blue Mountains, if people don't know where I'm at. So that's why I'm talking about sort of colder weather.
Amazing. Great. And yes, similar to the plants that we're growing, Candice, I can't convince the family about kohlrabi. I think it's not a big thing here in Australia. I don't even know a lot of people eating that even.
Oh, it's so delicious.
And
You can put it
I
in,
know.
it's like kind of a cross between an apple and a potato. That's how I say it, right? Like it's kind of that crunchy, juicy, and you can eat it raw, you can ferment it, you can put it in salt, you could do so much with it.
It
Yeah.
reminds like the texture reminds me of radishes.
Yes.
Crunchy,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
nice crunchy to it.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Who else in the room is growing stuff at the moment? I see Zolt, you're here. Good to see you, Zolt. And we've got Kimberly here as well. Myola, sorry, I haven't had a chance because I had to change my setup. I couldn't see who was coming in. Good to see you on Chantel. Hi, how are you? So who else is growing anything that you would like to share, whether it's in small or large scales?
I've got Robin gave me a ginger. Now she gave me some ginger only last week, and I can't believe it. I put it in the ground, and within I don't know, what are we? I left this morning, so yesterday I checked, and I've got 2 leaves on that ginger already. I can't believe it. It's amazing. So that's just organically growing right next to a big comfrey plant that I have, and I've got an abundance of cayenne peppers. And Kelly actually gave me a capsicum plant back in January, and I can't get over that either. I've put that in amongst the cayenne peppers, and it is the same size as the cayenne peppers. So and then I've got a tomato plant that's come up, and it's so healthy. And then see, this is when you let everything go to seed. And then I've got like about 8 cos lettuces that I've found that are like this tall, that have just randomly come up, and it's just amazing.
So
So
the
yeah.
best fruit and veg that you find are the ones that are random because they're like, I didn't even know I put you there. Where did you come from? That sounds great. Thanks for that, Simone. Robin, you would have to come off mute. Still on mute? I ask you to unmute. Let me see. That works.
Unmute. Is that right?
Yes.
I've got spinach. I've got to think about this. And I've got garlic, ginger, turmeric.
Ooh, the good stuff.
I've got oregano, thyme. I've got spinach in. I've got parsley. I've got some of that. I don't know how to say it. Simone probably knows. It's out at our Dabdo garden. It's like a weed really. It's called it's a weed, but they say it goes great in salads. I can't remember what its name is.
Purslane?
And then
Was it purslane?
Purslane, that's it. And then I've got a Thai. Ray gave it to me. A Thai. I don't know. Look, I'm not a gardener. I'm learning. I'm going to go to classes and learn more about it. I can't remember the names of the plants. And then the other day out at Dapto, I was out with Barbara, and they sell seedlings for $2. So they all look the same. They're saying they're broccoli and they're this and they're that and they're cabbage and they're something else and they're something else. And Barbara's going, oh, you will have 2 of them and 2 of them. And by the time we got home, we didn't know which was which, so we put them in.
That's your surprise garden now, Robin. You're just gonna pop it in and go like, let's see what comes out, right?
Yeah. And what I did is what I was showing Simone yesterday in my garage, like, because I really started sort of doing things 5 or 6 years ago. I bought all these grow bags, but I've got a husband that's not so keen on me gardening up the garden. And I said to him today, I said, that lawn there near the clothesline, that may become a garden, so don't get too carried away with the mowing there. But for now, the bags will happen. So I've found places, like we had a really big motorhome, so I couldn't put the bags up there, and it's great, like it's got great sun. So that's gone, and I've found this spot, and I'm filling up these bags. I'm going to do a potato bag. And just get that going. And I want to put another spinach in. I'm not going to do any kale because there's that much out at the Dapto garden that they got kale going everywhere, and I don't know why. It must be just easy to grow.
It is.
Is it? I don't know. I'm not going to grow any because I think, geez, what do we do with it all?
Yeah. So actually, Robin, with that, just on the last note for the gardening, what if we have abundance? This is where Candice comes in, right? This is where If you have chickens, I'm sure they're happy about it. But then this is our next step where we can make sure our healthy food is canned, is frozen, and all that, like freeze dried for powders, and it keeps giving. And that's the great thing about it. So, like with the beans, I just quickly blanch them and then chuck them in the freezer. Now I know I've got fresh, good, healthy food in there. I'm gonna try a jar with it. So when we go and say we have abundance, the next step is, okay, how we're gonna preserve it, right? And Candice knows
Yeah.
way more than I do about it, but we're gonna move on to our
Just
next
quickly
topic.
before you
Yeah.
go, just on that, zucchinis, what my son does, he's an excellent gardener. He dries them and then he belts them up into powder, and he's got zucchini powder and he makes his bread and stuff out of that.
Wow.
Anyway,
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really good for
it-
thickening.
it-
It's really good for thickening sauces or any of that kind of stuff. And you can,
Yeah.
and zucchini freezes quite well as well. I grate it. I let it sit in a strainer to let some of the moisture come off, and then I pack it into bags and I freeze it, and then you can use that in anything, to extend anything, to be honest.
Great.
From
Yeah.
cakes to savory dishes to anything. Zucchini can go in
Great.
everything and no one would know it was there.
That's the good thing about zucchini. And you see here, like with the tomatoes, I've done it. I had so many tomatoes, they were everywhere. So I ended up just putting them in the dehydrator, and then I turned them into powder, put it back in to make sure all the moisture's out. And now I don't need to go buy any paste because I can make it into whatever I want. The water will determine the use for it,
Yeah.
which is great as well.
Beautiful.
So yeah, think about it. If I have abundance of it, what can I do with it afterwards?
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
and mids on that, you're either going to try and store it yourself, or you're going to swap it for somebody else that doesn't, that has something that you don't have. So if you don't have chickens and you've got abundance of, well,
Zucchinis?
Emma, we swapped. Emma gave me some zucchinis and some pumpkin last time we met up, and I gave her some sauerkraut and some ghee, right? Like, because that's what I already had.
Yeah.
So it's doing that so that you're spreading the love and getting what you need as well for your family.
Definitely. Thanks for that, Emma and Candice. All right, wonderful. Well, this was a really good discussion. I hope all got some ideas where you can get started. Again, I would like to say, we're doing it because we want to see that we are prepared, not scared. And, now is the time because we are heading into winter, but now is the time if you want to make sure, just get your hands a bit dirty, meaning get your hands dirty, go into your garden and just start. Because guess what? The hardest part is always the first step. Right? Once you've taken it and you enjoy it, the rest will flow on and you will be able to provide for yourself and family and friends and community some good, healthy food that's not gonna break the bank. All right, with that said, I'm handing over to Emma and Andrew. Emma, just on the, oh, you wanted, sorry, we'll come back to the Hub Leaders update. So Cheryl, with Karina leaving, are you able to give us a Hub Leader update on you guys? I'll ask you to come off mute. Sorry, we wanted to do that at the beginning, but Karina just did such an amazing opening with all the food stuff. I'm like, nah, we're going to stick with that. So Cheryl?
Yeah, so we just had a coffee catch up last Saturday, and because we had kind of we changed quite a lot of different things, so we just made it a coffee catch up, and just asking the members, what are your issues, what are you, where are you at, and if we can kind of give them some advice. I wasn't actually there for that one. Then so in April we have April, we've got Scuba Pete coming down on the 25th, which is the long weekend on the Saturday, and he's going to do like a scenario, emergency scenarios, game thing, just to see how prepared we really are. And then in May we have got a meat canning workshop, which Atta is lovingly going to do for us. So that's really, really exciting.
Nice. Yeah, amazing. Thanks very much for that, Cheryl. Appreciate it. Emma's doing minutes, so maybe Candice, I come over to you, or you two ladies want to do it together, the update for you guys, Hub, in the mountains.
Having our first coffee meetup on Friday morning. So Friday morning at Lawson at 8. I'm still following up with some people. We've got 12, well, we've got 8 confirmed and 6 possibles and a whole bunch that still haven't come back. So that's our very first connect that we've done. And that's all we have planned so far, but we are planning on planning more once we get to that. Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. Great. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Simone, any news on your end? I mean, always much happening, right?
Yes.
Oh, he does with it. It sounds like, hold on to your chair, people.
Oh, we are coming together. Robin is going to be becoming part of our membership and one of our hub leaders to join me. So this is going to be amazing. And Robin being a part of the My Place, we had coffee 2 weekends ago, and we had 17 turn up, and it was just
Wow.
amazing. And I'd had already started our directory on sourcing out our foods and our vegetables of locally where we can source them, and knowing where we can do some crop swaps. So there's 2 places. We've got one in Kiama, which is further south, then we've got one that is up in Bulli area as well. So just knowing, and then actually getting everybody's information and talking about growing one thing that we can make in abundance, that we can actually in our own community start doing this crop swapping. And then with Robin and Barbara and Ray, I've started to with the Dapto community garden, which is absolutely amazing. I'm so excited about this. It just gives you so much inspiration when you go in there, and I feel so blessed that we've crossed paths and everything's coming together. So we've got lots coming where we'll get our heads together. See, I'd love us to do a little bit more, and then having a discussion with Mids again that we want to bring back to the Entelechy, another bug out bag, obviously, coming up in May. I'm hoping that might be after all the holidays have gone through in April. And then we still want to do other workshops. I'd like to get, well, we haven't done the Make It From Scratch Day yet because there's a few things going on with a few people still unwell. So once that's all settled, we will get that up and running. But it's coming together really well.
That's
But
amazing.
can I just say something there for 1 minute?
Mm-hmm.
At the meeting, Simone, remember the lady that's offered us her little patch of yard that she said she can't garden, she's too sick?
Margaret, yes.
Yes.
Margaret, yes. So that's great.
She's said we can have her yard and we can grow. I mean, she'll water and keep an eye on it for us, but she's injured. And also, I have to say there was 4 apologies for the meeting too. So
it's been awesome.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Can't wait to see more from you guys coming that way. Yeah, and definitely let me know. I think I'm the closest to you guys, so going that way. Wonderful. Mayola, how
Hello,
are you? How
I'm
are
very
you
well.
going? What area are you
Nice.
from?
I'm up just past Taree, so in between Taree and Port Macquarie, so mid North Coast.
Oh, amazing. I have to hand it over there to Emma. Who's up there? Have you got, Mayola, are you in a hub yourself?
I think I'm in Kelly's hub. I think that's how it works. I'm not 100% sure, but I think
She'd be your closest, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, great. And Zold, we've got you and Kimberly here. Good to see you guys. Oh, okay, Mayola. Kelly was just saying it just moved house, so I'm sure you've got the unpacking still on your mind, probably, and settling in.
It's been
Yeah.
a big journey. Yep. Yep.
Oh, wow, wow. Zold, good to see you, hear you. How are you going?
So,
Oh, you were on. Yeah, here we
uh,
go. So
yeah,
what?
so we still like in the transitional stage,
Mm-hmm.
and we just setting the foundation for the next chapters. So yeah, I had a discussion with Kelly about this. So yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. But I'm just like really happy to hear like how other people are doing it, and try to see like what works, what doesn't work.
Mm. Yeah.
And yeah, it's fascinating to watch, especially what is happening now in the world.
Yeah. And as you
You
can
know,
see, like it really raises like when people start talking about the hub, you just see how everybody starts smiling on the screen and gets excited. So
totally. Yeah.
if we can keep that positivity going and help each other in our hubs, and so just because you're in one hub, please, if you see another hub doing things that you're interested in or in the area, go and see each other, go support each other,
Yeah,
get to
absolutely.
know each other, because there is so much different knowledge and information in each of our hubs. The more we share with that with our dog, or can take it with to our next meetups with other people or bring it to our meetings, that's really where the community grows and comes together. So don't be a stranger,
No, not at all. Not at all. It feels like it's this mastermind group, and you like people who know what's going on, and they're doing the right steps. So it's actually a kind of privilege to be part of it and learn from the collective.
Yes, I agree. Well said, Zold.
Mm,
Appreciate that.
mm,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
All right, anybody else still wanted to say anything that we might have missed about the hubs, or we're good? Okay. Now we are a bit later today because the food topic's just been huge, and I think we could spend more hours and hours. But I think instead of talking about it, get gardening groups together, see each other work together, rather than if you need ideas, call someone up, say, hey, I want to do this, if you can give a hand, please do so that it's not too overwhelming. Like, yeah, Emma, I agree. Get your hands dirty together. It's definitely a rewarding journey on all levels, when you grow your own food. We did wanted to do a quick website update. Kelly, would you kindly share your screen with us? So I'm going to do a bit of speed talking here now. We will go more into details about that at our Hub Leaders training. We just thought we mention quickly to you, Emma, I'm doing your talking. Do you want to take over? Otherwise, I'll just keep talking. She's like, no, keep talking, woman. All right, so we have more resources, more information on the website where we wanted just to say, look, here's where you can go onto the website. Here's where you're finding this information. We're working on the calendar. There is the screen's coming up from Kelly. Thank you very much. There is a section in your on our website where you can register events, right? And that's a really good one for you as hub leaders, or even if you're not necessarily a hub leader and say, hey, I want to put an event on. So what Kelly's showing us here is different toppings on the website, so you can just click on those and it will filter you through. What you see here also is the individual Telegram groups. So if you're not in a channel, but you go like, look, I want to get to know more the people of another hub, you can join those via the links that are on the website as well. And like I said, the big one is obviously the event registration. I believe we have a couple of, so you see here the events, submit an event, you can fill out that form, and then what will happen is we can promote that on your behalf. We had Gabrielle working on that. This is linked to the calendar. There is still a little bit of work that needs to be done. So just bear with us on that. While we're trying to get that linked so we have a calendar where all this stuff is showing up. But we will go through that more in detail at the actual Hub Leader training that we will be doing. So here you can see Kelly just hopped over to our events. So this is what it will look like so people can easily find events coming up. All right. Thank you very much for that, Kelly. Appreciate it. Now, for the wrap up today, sorry, we went a little bit later than usual. I'm practicing. I will get it down. So what we wanted to, am I say anything you needed to add? Or Andrew, did I forget anything? We're good? No, we're all good. Okay. For the wrap up, I'm just gonna do a open mic for you guys in one word. If you could let us know to describe the meeting today and a quick key takeaway from our meeting for you personally today. Who would like to start?
I will.
Yes, please, Simone.
Motivated.
Motivated. Amazing. Thank you. Candice? You're unmuted, so go for it.
I'm gonna mute myself.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm gonna say inspired because it's such a beautiful time of year, change of season, and there's so many things that we can do and learn.
Amazing. Sounds great. Robin? I come to all the people that are not on mute.
I'm inspired as well, very much. I've learned a lot tonight. I really have. I really appreciate everybody's input.
Thank you. Thank you. Mayola?
Curious. We've just moved, like Kelly said, we've just moved, so we've got some land, so I'm keen to see what we can do with it.
Oh, and you know what? I would love to bombard you with information. First thing I gotta say, layout, layout, layout. Take your time. Take your time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Alana, how about for you? One word to describe tonight?
I would say knowledge curious.
Awesome.
I don't know if that's 2 words, but I'm using it.
We're taking it. We're taking it. Anyone else would like Salty?
I'm going to take my lead off Alana and give you 2 things. Garlic and potatoes.
Garlic and potatoes.
And Andrew has something to say?
Andrew?
Oh, yeah. Just to acknowledge what a great job you're doing there, Mids.
Oh, thank you.
I was
Yeah,
about
very
to
good.
say
You're
that.
engaging everyone. That's very good.
My pleasure.
You've
And
done a great job, Mids.
Oh, thanks, guys. You know, that's what we do as a team. You know, poor Kelly. I hope you're feeling better soon. Really, it's been a bit of a journey for you. That's all I can say. She's here, by the way. Everyone say hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
There we go, people.
I love you guys so much. Can I finish? Anyone else can go after me, but I want to say my word is thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. You warm my heart so much. I'm everything that we've talked about and learnt, and you guys showing up and doing great things in your community. We are absolutely just rocking it around Australia, and you guys are the bomb.
Thank you, Mitzi.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I wish you all, and again, apologies, we went a bit longer today. I will keep it shorter. I just got to get back in the hang of it, I have to admit. And I appreciate you all coming. Reach out in the groups if you're not sure, have any question. As you can see, we have quite a lot of people here that do. Oh, I like that. Whoever put the
How do you do that?
happy birthday. I don't know, but someone just showered Kelly with the cakes in the chat. That's awesome.
Do it again. Do it again.
Whoever that was. So yeah, look, again, please keep an eye out on the hubs, keep an eye out on the channel. Make sure you join the hubs. It doesn't matter if you're part of it, but if you want to have the information, go on the website and get involved with the people around you in your community. And I would say tomorrow, everyone just go and buy one little plant of something you would eat and put it on your windowsill, even if you're not sure where you want to put it from there, but it's definitely worth, getting the one, because it only takes the first step. All right. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
Good evening.
Bye.
Right.